Chapter 12. The Cheat. Yuna wasn't the same girl who stepped into the Quiz Genius tournament 3 weeks ago. She still carried empathy, still believed in truth, but now she walked with caution, spoke with measured calm, trusted no one. Which is why the knock on her door at 2 a.m. jolted her awake.
Yuna Lee,
A voice said through the speaker.
please follow us. You've been selected for a compliance audit.
The interrogation room. The room was colder than usual. 2 masked enforcers stood on either side of a digital projection. In front of her, a screen flashing red text.
Match 4. Subject, Yuna Lee. Alert, match irregularity detected. Suspicion, external information access.
Yuna blinked.
What?
The arbiter's synthetic voice echoed through the chamber.
During your 4th match, your response time was 0.42 seconds faster than your average in similar question types. Your eye movements suggest prediction, not cognition.
She frowned.
So I answered too fast and now I'm a cheater?
Statistical anomaly. Consistent with data injection or memorized patterning. Possibility, unauthorized data relay.
Yuna sat forward.
Are you accusing me of hacking your questions?
Not yet. First, we observe.
The screen changed. It showed match footage. Her face, her movements, her eye-tracking heat map, a pulsing graph of her neural response. Then, cut. A new image appeared. Hidden recording. Player lounge. Audio. She's working with the system. The voice belonged to Mara. A knife in the back.
Mara?
Yuna whispered. The name hit her like a stone to the chest. Mara had been with her since the beginning, assigned on day 1 as her coach. A stoic presence with sharp eyes and a quiet strength. She was one of the few constants in the chaos. Never warm, but never unkind. Their conversations had been clipped but honest, and over time, they'd grown into something more than handler and trainee. A silent alliance, a thread of trust. Mara had given her subtle advice before matches, tips that bordered on unapproved assistance. She'd pulled Yuna aside once after a difficult round, said only, "Don't let them program your empathy out." But that was before. Now the arbiter's voice was clear and cold.
She has requested to be kept anonymous.
Of course she had. Yuna stood frozen in the center of the sterile room, staring at nothing. Her thoughts caught in a loop. Why? Then it came to her. The QR code. Mara had access to Yuna's footage archive as her assigned coach. She would have seen the moment Yuna held up the sheet of paper, the odd pattern drawn hastily with pen. It wouldn't have taken much, just a little suspicion, a second glance, and then the connection. Yuna had helped Marcus, and now Mara had turned her in. But why? That was the dagger twisting. She wasn't stupid. She knew what kind of world they were in. Coaches could be eliminated just like players, maybe not publicly, but quietly, in the back rooms of the system. The arbiter didn't tolerate anomalies. And to protect herself, Mara had likely made a deal. Give us the leak. Save yourself. Yuna took a shaky breath.
You think I'm a threat, don't you?
She said aloud, not to Mara, but to the machine behind the glass, to the unseen watchers above.
Not because I cheated, but because I didn't break.
The room was silent. Then the arbiter responded.
You are free to continue, but your record is now flagged.
Future matches will be randomized without category announcement.
This is not a punishment. This is recalibration.
Recalibration. The word echoed like a euphemism for dissection. Yuna stood. Cold sweat clung to her spine, but her jaw was set. She didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't even flinch. She just smiled.
I must be doing something right if you're scared of me.
But deep in her chest, something cracked. Not because the system was cruel, she'd expected that, but because Mara, the one person who was supposed to believe in her, didn't. And in this place, that hurt more than anything else. Buried by design. Her room was gone. She didn't remember how it happened, not fully. One moment, she was staring at the blank wall after the arbiter's verdict. The next, a sharp hiss of gas, darkness, rough hands, a whisper she couldn't make out, then silence. When she opened her eyes again, the ceiling was concrete and rust. No bed, no screens, just a sliver of light through a vent far above. She had been moved, underground. There were no alerts, no leaderboard. Her name was gone, not just from the rankings, but from every digital record. Not dropped in rank, erased. To the world, Yuna Lee had vanished, just like Amari Voss, just like the other Marcus had uncovered in King's Gambit, those brilliant minds who had suddenly lost and never resurfaced. But Yuna hadn't lost, and she wasn't dead. The arbiter could have killed her. It had the authority, the algorithms, but it didn't. Why? Because Yuna wasn't an error. She was an outlier, unpredictable, difficult to control, but valuable. The system didn't want to erase her. It wanted to understand her, or maybe remake her. And so it placed her where it placed the rest, beneath the stage, beneath the illusion, beneath the world. Now down here, she waited. Invisible, unscored, but still thinking. And somewhere above, something else was watching too.